Good morning. Thanks for calling Sheriff Dale's office. Quick, speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, yes, this is Judge Bando, and I didn't know what extension to call because I was trying to make sure they got the Zoom.
Yes, sir. I received the Zoom link. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to them.
Okay, thank you.
You have a nice one.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Are you going to bring the females out with them, or are they going for the reading of the rights?
The females are out there.
Okay.
Just listen to the judge, okay? You're going to give some vital information.
All right, is everybody there now?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Judge Bando. So today is going to be your first appearance here in Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We're not here to try your case or to take a plea in your case today. The only thing we're here today for, the purpose is for me to tell you what you're charged with, and if you have a bond set, what your bond amount will be. I'm not authorized to do any other kind of function this day except set your bond and tell you what your charges are. You have the right to remain silent because anything, if you decide to give up the right, anything that you say can be used against you. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of your case. If that's the case, you can either post the cash bond directly through the sheriff's office, or you can go through a commercial bonding company in which they require at least about 15% of what your total bond amount is to bond out of jail, or you can use a property bond. If you use a property bond, you have to have at least 3 times the equity amount in the property of what the bond amount is to use property to bond out. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond. If you have special conditions that prohibit you from contacting a certain person or going to a certain place, if you violate those conditions, you could be charged with aggravated stalking, in which you won't be entitled to a bond, and you would have to remain incarcerated until your trial date. For family members who are going to assist you with posting your bond, if they are listed as the alleged victim on the bond that you're not supposed to have contact with, that person will not be able to post your bond. Some of you have been charged with offenses for which the court is not authorized by law to set a bond. Also, if you're on probation and you have a probation hold, the law does not allow me to set a bond on your case at this time. The other decision that you're gonna have to make this morning is whether you want to have a preliminary hearing or whether you want to waive your case. What a preliminary hearing is the opportunity for you to have the state to prove that there's probable cause, meaning that it's probable that the crime that you're alleged to have committed occurred. And so if you would like to have that, I can tell you right now what those court dates are going to be. If you're charged with a misdemeanors only, that court date will be February the 9th. If you are charged with felonies, your court date is going to either be February the 17th or February the 19th, depending on what your charge is. So what that means is if you aren't able to make bond and you decide to keep your preliminary hearing, that will be the next time you will be before a judge in court. If you decide to waive your preliminary hearing and you can't make bond, then you'll be in court within 10 to 14 days for some type of resolution of your case outside of a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearings will automatically be waived and you will not have to appear in court on the dates that I just told you. You'll receive notice when to come back to court from the judge that is going to be assigned to represent you in your case. So at this time, I need everyone to please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the statements that you tell me and whatever you put on your application for appointment of counsel is true? And if so, please lower your hand. If what you tell me and what you put on the application is true, just lower your hand. Okay, all right, thank you. Deputies, would you like to take the females or the males first?
Male.
You said males?
Females.
Females, okay, all right. Ms. Blyden, Pearl Blyden. Good morning, Ms. Blyden. You've been charged with contributing to the delinquency or deprivation of a minor, 2 counts. In each one of those counts, your bond is $1,000. You've been charged with 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 2nd degree, and each one of your bond amounts on those counts is $1,000 each. And you've been charged with disorderly house, and that's $1,000. So your total bond is $5,000. Would you like to waive or would you like to keep your preliminary hearing?
Waive it.
All right, and I see here that you, according to this application, based on your income, you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I'll appoint you one. If you don't make the bond, an attorney will be able to meet with you to see what they can do to help you expedite your case. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you. And could you please make sure she completes that waiver paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Are you Ms. Glover? Ms. Glover, you've been charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Your bond is $2,000. On battery, the bond is $5,000. You do have special conditions on your bond. You can't have any contact with Dominique Ponder, and you cannot return to 855 Mount Zion Road in Jonesboro, Georgia, at this time as a condition of your bond. If you have some personal property that's undisputed at their location, you'll have 10 days from your release to go with a sheriff's office or to retrieve any undisputed personal property. Do you understand that? Would you like to waive or would you like to keep your preliminary hearing?
If I bond out, will the preliminary hearing be canceled? If I,
Yes, you won't have one if you bond out.
I'll waive it.
Okay, so just make sure you can complete the waiver paperwork and you'll get a notice in the mail when it come back to court.
And how much is the total?
$7,000.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are you Miss Jones? Are you Miss Jones? Okay, give me one moment, please. All right, Ms. Jones, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. Your bond is $4,000. You do have special conditions on your bond that require you to have no contact with Jaquan Smith. What's the apartment number that you all live together at over there? Apartment what?
45.
Okay. You said 35C?
45
45. Okay.
E as in A.
Okay. E, 45E. Okay. You're not to, you can't go back to the location for now, 5801 Riverdale Road, apartment 45E in College Park. You have 10 days when you're released to go back if you have any undisputed personal property that you can retrieve until the bond is modified. Do you understand the conditions of your bond? You understand the conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Wait.
All right, they're gonna give you some paperwork, the waiver to fill out. Would you like to be considered for a court-appointed attorney?
Thank you.
Are you working?
No, I'm pregnant right now. 9 months.
I've appointed you a court-appointed attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions? All right, thank you. Are you Miss McPhee? You've been charged with public drunk, ma'am. Your bond is set at $1,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
$1,000, that's $100 to get that?
Well, 15%, so anywhere between like 150, depending on bonding company.
I can pay my own bond.
You have the cash on you to pay it?
I got my debit card.
They don't take debit cards. You have to pay the cash. So you'll have to get you have to release your debit card to somebody so they can get the cash to post it for you. And that's the fee through the bonding company. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
You can waive it. I mean,
Okay.
all of
Okay. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
you can waive it.
All right, I've completed my paperwork, so you need to sign your waiver, okay?
Okay.
Look around.
Are you Miss Reed?
I am.
Miss Reed, you've been charged with obstructing a law enforcement officer. That bond is $1,000. And for the charge of license not on person, I denied that charge. So that's your total bond. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I'll waive that.
All right. And did you want to, let's see, you're not working right now?
So I'll have this matter pro se.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is set the bond is set. I signed the paperwork and you need to sign the waiver paperwork and that's it. Thank you.
And just for clarification, if I have the cash on me, I can pay the $100 for my own release.
It's the $1,000.
I would need the bonding company to do that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you Miss Tarver?
Yeah.
You go.
Okay, Miss Tarver, you've been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. That bond is $4,000 and parking in a prohibited spot. That bond is $500. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing? You want to waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to keep it? Miss Tarver? I can't hear you.
Keep it.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be February the 9th.
So I have to wait until.
No, you can bond out. You can bond out and get out of jail today. You have a bond that's been set. If you don't bond out, your preliminary hearing date will be February the 9th. It looks like you're not working. Is that correct? I'll appoint you an attorney to represent you. If you don't make the bond, someone will come and see you. An attorney will come see you at the jail. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's all the females. We'll start with the male.
All right, thank you. Okay. Are you Mr. Barnett? All right, Mr. Barnett, you've been charged with reckless driving. That bond is $1,500. Speeding restrictions beyond the maximum limits is $1,500. No insurance is $1,000. Having an expired or invalid tag is $500, and too fast for conditions is $500. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing? All right, so your preliminary hearing date will be February the 17th. Oh, wait, hold on. No, it'll be February the 9th. You have misdemeanors. So it'll be February the 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you make the bond, you won't have this preliminary hearing.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Did you need to be considered for a court-appointed attorney? Yes, would you like to apply for one?
Oh, yes.
Okay, based on your income that you put on the application, you qualify for an attorney. If there's no other questions, you're free to go, sir.
I can pay on bond today, tomorrow.
Yeah, I signed the paperwork, so if the bond is in the system, you can pay it today. Well, it'll be in the system when we finish court. You're welcome. Are you Mr. Bill?
Johnny Boyce.
What's your name, sir?
Jeffrey Boozer.
Okay. Mr. Boozer, you've been charged. Is that you? Okay, yes. You've been charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. That bond is $8,000, and you've been charged with reckless conduct. That bond is $2,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? I didn't hear you. You said waive?
Waive the preliminary hearing, yes.
Okay. Just fill out the paperwork there for the waiver, and you'll get notice when to come back to court in the mail. Oh, did you need a court-appointed attorney, Mr. Boozer? I see you're not working.
Yes, I need a court-appointed attorney.
Okay. All right. I've approved it. Thank you.
My name is Johnny Boyce.
Okay. All right, Mr. Boynton, you've been charged with driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond is $1,500. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I'm trying to bond out today.
You said what?
Bond out today.
I know. So did you want to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing? Just in case you don't bond out, we have to make a decision on that.
Preliminary hearing. Preliminary hearing.
Okay. So if you don't make the bond, the preliminary hearing to be February the 9th. And are you, let's see here, make a little, okay. I've appointed you a court-appointed attorney. You'll get notice when to come back to mail if you bond out, okay? Thank you.
My name is Ty Campbell.
You said your name was what?
Ty Campbell.
Okay. Mr. Campbell, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Your bond has been denied at this time. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to keep it?
Waive.
All right. And I've appointed you a court-appointed attorney to come and represent you. Someone will come and meet with you this week. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Shavers? Mr. Shavers, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Your bond is set at $2,000. You have special conditions. You can't have any contact with Breanna Taylor. You cannot return to 2204 Lake Regency Drive in College Park, Georgia. If you have some personal property there that's undisputed, you can go back within 10 days from your release of custody to retrieve any of those items. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
How much did you say it was again?
You said what?
How much did you say it was again?
$2,000. Right. And you understand the conditions of your bond, right? Okay. And so you want to keep your hearing? It's February the 9th at 8:30 in the morning. If you make bond, you won't have that preliminary hearing date. They'll send you notice when to come back to court. And let's see here. You're not working right now, according to this application? I've appointed you attorney. Did you have any other questions? All right, thank you. Mr. Cobb, you've been charged with theft by shoplifting. Your bond is $8,000. You have a special condition. You cannot return to the Walmart located at 6065 Jonesboro Road in Morrow, Georgia. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I want to waive it.
All right. I've indicated that you want to waive your hearing. Did you need to be considered for a court-appointed attorney, sir?
I won't be getting out.
Okay. I've assigned one. Thank you. If you don't have any questions, you're free to go with the deputies.
Oh, not you, I'm sorry.
Kelvin Cook.
All right, Mr. Cook, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Your bond is set at $2,000. You have special conditions. You cannot have contact with Colucia Cook at this time. You cannot return to 1008 Fairway Point Drive in Riverdale, Georgia. You have 10 days if you live there to retrieve any undisputed personal property with the sheriff when you're released from custody. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing, sir?
I'm bonded now, so I don't know the deal.
Okay, so if you don't bond out, would you like to keep the hearing or you want to waive it?
I guess a waiver.
Okay, so you just complete the paperwork there for the waiver, and do you understand the special conditions of your bond? That you can't have contact or go back to that address?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Cool.
Are you Mr. Craig? Are you Mr. Craig? Okay. Mr. Craig, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. Your bond is set at $3,000. How do you know Mr. Jones?
My girlfriend, kid's mom.
Oh, okay. So you have a special, you both are gonna have the same special condition. You can't have contact with each other. So no contact with Douglas Jones. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? I didn't hear you.
Wait.
Okay, so just complete the waiver paperwork over there. They'll send you notice when to come back to court. I've appointed you a court-appointed attorney, so you'll get notice when to come back, okay? All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Green? Mr. Green, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your bond is set at $3,000. You have special conditions. You're not able to have contact with Tromenicia Bradley at this time, and you cannot return to 3470 Mount Zion Road in Stockbridge, Georgia, 30281. If you have personal property there that's undisputed, you can go back with a sheriff's deputy within 10 days from your release to retrieve that property. You understand those conditions? All right. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing? You said keep it? All right. So it will be February the 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you make your bond, you will not have this court date. You will get notice when it comes to back to court. And let's see. I've appointed you an attorney to help you assist you with this case. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Harris? Mr. Harris, you've been charged with driving with a suspended or revoked license. Your bond is $1,500. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I like keep.
Okay. Your hearing is going to be set for February the 9th at 8:30. If you don't make your bond, that's the day you'll be back in court. I've appointed you an attorney to represent you. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Hickson? Mr. Hickson, you've been charged with improper passing. That bond is $500. Improper lane change is $500. And you've been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. That's $4,000. So your total bond is $5,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? Okay, it'll be February the 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you make the bond, you won't have this preliminary hearing. And I couldn't understand what you put on your application. Did you say you make 1,600 or 16,000 a month?
1,600.
Okay, all right. I've appointed you an attorney to represent you. Did you have any questions?
I have an attorney,
Oh, you already have one? When your attorney files their entry of appearance, never leave the public defender's represent you, okay?
I don't understand. Did not see your last statement.
Okay, I said, if you've hired an attorney, then this will relieve the public defender's office once your attorney files the paperwork with the court. All right, thank you, sir. What'd you say your name was?
Jeffrey Iraeta.
You've been charged with entering automobile. That bond is 8,000 and criminal trespass is 2,000. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
How much is the bond?
10,000.
And I can make 2,000. Or I still, like, so I stay.
Okay. So what do you want to do about your preliminary hearing? Would you like to keep it or you want to waive it?
Well,
All right, sign the waiver paperwork. They're gonna give it to you. Thank you, sir.
Come over here, sir.
I have Mr. Hunter here, Your Honor.
Okay.
So,
All right, Mr. Hunter, you've been charged with speeding beyond the maximum limits, and that bond is 500, open containers 500, and possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce is 1,500. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I want to keep my preliminary hearing.
All right, your preliminary hearing date will be February the 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you make bond, then you will not have to return to court on that date. You'll receive notice when to come back to court. Let's see.
Here's my
I've
phone.
appointed you a court-appointed attorney to represent you. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to get a lawyer.
I've appointed one to represent you. You said you wanted to hire your own lawyer? Yeah, that's so as soon as you hire one, they'll file the paperwork with the court and the public defender will be relieved from representing you.
I wanted to hire my own lawyer, but I won't make bond.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Jones? Douglas? Okay. Oh, so your bond is $3,000 and you also can't have contact with Marcus Craig as a condition of your bond. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing? I didn't hear you.
I'll keep it.
Okay. It will be February the 17th at 8:30 a.m. If you make your bond, you will not have that preliminary hearing date. You'll get notice when to come back to court. And let's see, are you? Okay. Based on your application, I've appointed you a court-appointed attorney. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Just once I make bail, I'll be able to go home, correct?
Yes,
Thank you. That's all I need.
You're welcome.
well, state your name.
Lee John.
All right, Mr. Jones, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. That bond is $3,000 and criminal trespass is $1,000. You do have special conditions. You will not be able to have contact with Shannon Claire now is a condition of your bond, and you cannot return to 10911 Terra Boulevard in Jonesboro, Georgia. If you have undisputed personal property located there, you can go with the sheriff's deputy on one time to retrieve any undisputed personal property 10 days from your release. Do you understand that, sir?
That's the wrong address.
Okay. So I don't know that. I hear what you're saying. So what you have to do is have your attorney get with the prosecutor's office to modify the conditions so you can go back there, because the prosecutor will be able to confirm and verify what you're telling me. And then me or another judge will sign the bond so that you can return to that location. All right, and I've appointed you an attorney to represent you. Do you know if you're gonna be able to make your bond?
Maybe.
And would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? Okay, just complete the waiver paperwork there before you go back. Thank you.
Trevor McKenzie.
All right, Mr. McKenzie, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. The bond is $4,000. You have special conditions. You're not to have any contact with Ann McKenzie at this time, and you cannot return to 5997 Sunflower Court in Ellerwood, Georgia, 30294. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
You are able to go back with a sheriff's deputy one time within 10 days from your release to get any undisputed personal property. You understand that? Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? All right, your preliminary hearing date is going to be February the 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you make the bond, you won't have that date. You'll get notice when to come back to court. And let's see. Based upon your application, you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I've assigned you one. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.
Michael Parks.
Okay. All right, Mr. Parks, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond is set at $8,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Want to keep.
All right, your preliminary hearing date will be February the 17th at 8:30 a.m. If you don't make bond, if you make bond, you won't have this date. You'll get notice when to come back to court. And based on the application you submitted, I've appointed you an attorney to represent you. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Pope?
All right, then right side of the hallway, I'm ready to lock.
All right, Mr. Pope, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. Your bond amount is set at $4,000. As a condition of your bond, you cannot have any contact with your senior, Rivas Agosto. You're not to return to the location of 2971 Mandy Court in Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236. You can, if you live at that location, you can return to that location with a sheriff's deputy within 10 days from your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. Do you understand the condition of that bond?
The bond is how much?
The total bond is $4,000. You understand the special conditions of the bond? Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? I didn't hear you. You said waive it?
Oh, keep it.
Keep it, okay. Your court date is gonna be February the 9th, 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 201. If you make your bond, you won't have that court date. I've appointed your attorney based on your application to represent you. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you. Are you Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. Your bond has been denied at this time. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Your Honor, I would like to make a statement to you for
Okay, so you have to be mindful that, because like this is recorded, and so it's going to be forever on YouTube. So you so keep that in mind, because anything you say here can be used against you. So if you're going to try to tell me the facts of the case, I just want you to keep that in mind.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking for a little leniency for giving me a bond. You know, I'm a pillar of the community. I'm a disabled veteran. This is my first offense. I just need some kind of a bond because I have serious medical conditions and it's not being addressed here. So I just need a bond so I can bond out to address my medical conditions.
Okay, so I reviewed the allegations, and that's what they are at this point, the allegations in this case. And based on the nature of what they are today at this time, I'm gonna still deny the bond. That doesn't mean that it can't be reconsidered. I've appointed you an attorney to represent you. So they would have to, your attorney can sit down with the district attorney at ADA to see if they can come up with a consent bond. But based on the allegations at this first appearance, I won't be able to grant a bond. Did you have any other questions at this time, Mr. Rogers?
I know, Your Honor.
Okay, so did you want to keep the preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, just complete the paperwork and the attorney will come see you within a few days.
Your Honor, do you have the paperwork for Mr. Bill?
Yeah, I have it. Did he complete a court-appointed attorney form? They didn't send that.
We have it down here.
Okay,
He's gonna be the last person.
all right. Mr. Bill, are you 21? I didn't hear you.
20. I just turned 20 in September.
You live with your parents?
Yes.
Whose car are you driving? It was your car? Are you working? Where are you working?
I used to work for Publix until the COVID situation just happened, but I now am my girlfriend.
Did you get injured in this car accident?
Yes. It wasn't really addressed properly, but that's fine by me because as long as no fatalities, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
All right. So you've been charged with several counts. So let's go through them all. You've been charged with license violation for driving on an instructional permit. It's $1,000. Reckless driving is $3,000. No proof of insurance is $1,000. No license on person is $1,000. $1,000. Serious injury by vehicle is $5,000. Failure to maintain lane is $1,000. And too fast for conditions is $1,000. Are you would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I would like to first offense or first offender.
I didn't hear you.
I would like to first offender to
Oh, so this is not a trial or anything like that. The only thing I'm here to do was what I did was to tell you what you're charged with and to set bonds on your case. So what can happen with the case is the resolution that'll happen at a later date. So all I need to know now is if you want to, were you here when I went over all those and I said all your rights? You said did you hear it? Yeah, okay. So did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you want to waive it?
I would be able to pay the bond and get out today.
Okay.
I was asking, is that what?
Yeah, you can pay the bond today. As soon as I finish with you, I'm gonna send this paperwork to the jail, so the system will be updated with the bond amount, so you can bond out today. But just in case you don't bond out, I need to know if you want to waive your case to state court or Superior Court, or if you want to have a preliminary hearing. All right, so the date will be February the 17th. All right, thank you.
What do I do now?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That
All
should
right.
be everybody, right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.